guys, Coach Brienne with another meal prep video. Today we're gonna be meal prepping a bunch of sirloin steak. So I actually buy my sirloin steak from Costco. Find it's the absolute best price. So this right here is beef loin top sirloin from Costco. I paid $32 for this, 6.14 pounds. So this steak is going to last me a long time. Usually my tip to you is to find the steak that expires the latest so that you can keep it in your fridge for a little bit longer. But for me, I kind of waited to cook this steak. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna prep and cook all of this steak, and some of it I'm probably gonna have to freeze. So first thing I'm gonna do, since these steaks are really big, I'm actually gonna cut them in half. The reason why I wanna cut these in half is so that way they cook a little bit better versus having one big steak, you're gonna have a lot of rare meat in the middle. So as I'm cutting this steak in half, I'm placing it into Ziploc bags. So I'm probably gonna have to use 2 freezer bags since there is so much steak here. So whether or not you're cooking your steak on the grill or in the air fryer, which is what I'm gonna show you, yes, I am cooking steak in the air fryer. And I promise you, I am a steak snob and it is amazing. So trust me on this. Anyways, so whether or not you're cooking your steak on the grill or in the air fryer or wherever it is, I highly recommend that you marinate it in Worcestershire sauce. So if you watched my other video on meal prepping chicken, I do the same thing. This marinade is great. Helps to tenderize the meat. So you can close up your bag and make sure that those steaks get a nice coating of that Worcestershire sauce. It's better to let them soak a little bit longer in that Worcestershire just to kind of let it soak in and, like I said, tenderize the meat. So now that we've let them soak, ready to put them on our tray. Now, like I said before, I do have an air fryer that has trays, but it also has a rotisserie basket in it as well. So I use the trays and I still spray them with some cooking spray just to help them not stick. And then what I'm doing is I'm placing the steak onto that tray. Now, with chicken, you can do multiple trays and kind of flip your trays, but I don't recommend that with steak. You only want one tray. And with the air fryer that I have, the higher up you put that tray, the more toasted it's gonna get. So I put it up on the highest rack to get it nice and toasted. Now it is okay to put these steaks nice and close together whenever you do put it on this. You just don't want to have multiple trays in there. So I'll have to cook these first and then cook my second bag of steak later. So now we wanna season our steak. I use this Chicago steak seasoning. It's a Weber grilled steak seasoning, but if you don't have any specific steak seasoning, all you need is salt, pepper, and garlic. You can use fresh garlic or you can use garlic powder. So either or, it works. Now I'm a huge fan of a lot of seasoning. So don't go too stingy when it comes to seasoning. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting it seasoned nice and well, patting that seasoning on into the steak. Now, once we have that one side seasoned really well, I'm gonna flip it over and season the other side. So now that we have this steak nice and seasoned, it's ready to go into the air fryer. So I cook my steak on high heat, 400 degrees, and depending on how thick the steak, what the cut of the steak is, you're gonna cook it anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes on each side. All right, so 6 to 10 minutes on each side. You wanna flip that steak about halfway through. And just a little suggestion, for me, I'm meal prepping, so therefore in the future, I'm gonna actually be heating up my steak. So I actually try to cook it on the rare side. So even rarer than I would normally have, just because I know I'm gonna pop it in the microwave or throw it in a pan or something to heat it up. So keep that in mind. You might wanna try to cook it a little more on the rare side. So that way you do have the option to heat it up later. So this is what it looks like halfway through. So I put it in for about 8 or 9 minutes and then I'm getting ready to actually flip the steak. And there you have it. A whole bunch of steak is cooked. I actually cooked mine a little bit longer than I normally like to.
which I feel like is somewhat of a sin. But yeah, I have all this steak cooked. You can see it got a little bit toasted on the sides, and I'm gonna have steak for many days.
So hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know if you try out this steak, and let me know if you're brave enough to put that steak in the air fryer. I will say, give yourself a little bit of patience. It does take time to kind of figure out that perfect time. So once you nail down how long your specific steak cooks in the air fryer, the great thing about the air fryer is that it doesn't change. You know, sometimes your grill can be a little hotter than usual or a little bit cooler than usual, and you kind of have that guessing game. With the air fryer, it'll pretty much come out perfect every single time. So give yourself that patience, play around with it. Let me know if you try out this recipe or try out putting your steak in the air fryer, and we'll see you for the next one.